All right, welcome back. Now, I want to talk about Shay's Rebellion and the Whiskey Rebellion. These happened, Shay's Rebellion happened in 1786 and 1787, and the Whiskey Rebellion was in, I think, 1794, if I'm correct. Let me take a look. Uh, it started July 15th, 1794, and it ended in October of 1794. But I want to talk about Shay's Rebellion. Okay. Now, Shay's rebellion was led by a man named Revolutionary War veteran named Daniel Shay of Massachusetts. Uh, and it was a series of violent protests staged, like I said, during 1786 and 1787 by a group of American farmers. What the hell was that noise? Uh, by a group of American farmers who objected to the way state and local tax collections were being enforced. While skirmishes broke out from New Hampshire to South Carolina, the most serious acts of the rebellion occurred in rural Massachusetts, where years of poor harvests, depressed commodity prices, and high taxes had left farmers facing the loss of their farms or even imprisonment. All right, which is, you know, that's indicative of government. Government doesn't give a fuck. That's why I say if you vote, you're voting for people to get eminent domain. You're voting them to get taxed out of their property. You're voting for the police to shoot people who are obeying the orders. Okay? And have the cops stop you for doing 15 miles an hour over the speed limit here, while in the same fucking jurisdiction of that cop, I'm doing 25 miles an hour over the speed limit and I'm not getting caught. Why? Because it ain't about safety, it's about money. But that's what you're doing. You're allowing that. It's like, and I don't give a fuck about your excuses as, well, we'll shut up. Just shut up. I mean, if you're losing your farms and getting imprisoned because you cannot pay or you don't want to pay, well, then you're dealing with criminals. Okay? It's like I said about this fucking jury duty. I'm being coerced and manipulated to have to go up there by being threatened with uh, stealing $1,000 of my money, kidnapping me and putting me in jail for 3 days, or the humiliation ritual known as community service. Fuck you, government. You know? All right. Although it never posed a serious threat to the still loosely organized post-war United States federal government, Shay's rebellion drew lawmakers' attention to serious weaknesses in the Articles of Confederation and was frequently cited in the debates leading to the framing and ratification of the Constitution. Okay? Um, the key takeaways with Shay's rebellion was a series of armed protests, okay? And it was against repressive debt property tax collection practices. Farmers were aggrieved by these excessive taxes and penalties. And like I said, ranging from foreclosure of their farms to lengthy prison terms. It was led by Daniel Shays, and it was put down January 25th, 1787, when a private army raised by Massachusetts Governor James Bowdoin intercepted and defeated and arrested Shays and nearly 1,500 of his followers as they attempted to seize the federal arsenal in Springfield, Missouri. Now, this private army, including James Bowdoin, probably fought in the Revolution against a 2% tax. You see how stupid people are? You see how dumb they are? What a bunch of ignorant fucks. We fought against it was 3%. 3% tax. Now we're going out to shut people down who are fighting against repressive taxation. God, it's like, well, the governor called us and he wants us. Fuck the governor. Don't you have any morals or ethics? Don't you understand that that guy's farm, that could be you losing that farm or being put in jail for a lengthy term and then coming out to absolutely nothing, to complete poverty. That's what people don't get. That's why I don't vote. I don't want you to lose your home. I mean, I may not like you. You may be an asshole. But why should you lose your home? Okay? And I know there are people that are that fucking retarded that they're going to have excuses. Oh, but, well, your problem is that you're trying to sound intellectual. And the retard meter is just fucking bent. It's broken. It's like, it's almost that fucking, uh, uh, whatever you call it, the fucking gauge. It's about ready to snap. Okay? Let's continue. Now, the threat posed by Shay's rebellion helped persuade retired General George Washington. George Washington, he was the commander of the Continental Army, them forces that fought for freedom, right? It caused him to re-enter public service, leading to his 2 terms as first president of the United States. In a letter regarding Shay's rebellion to U.S. Representative William Stephen Smith, dated November 13, 1787, founding father Thomas Jefferson famously argued that an occasional rebellion is an essential part of liberty. And maybe you heard this one. I heard this one years ago. I like this. He said, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. Okay? Now, I understand that people don't want to friggin' die and fight and get hurt and fucked up and all that stuff. I mean, when I went to school, that was a constant with me. That's where I learned situational awareness. I think I have good peripheral vision because I had to keep on my toes because you see that coming at your face and you got your head up your ass, bang, because I was able to, get out of the way sometimes, not all the time, but yeah, it's like I was saying to somebody, I walked out of class and there'd be guys waiting for me. Boy, I hope I can get away. And I could sometimes, and sometimes I couldn't, so I had to start swinging, okay? That there keeps you on your toes. Men need that. We need that, okay? And I'm not a fatalist. I'm not like, yeah, I'll die. Go ahead, die. I don't have a problem dying. No, no, no. I like life, and you like life. But sometimes, man, you got to swallow that fucking lump and say, we got to start killing people, man. We got to start slitting throats. We got to start shaking out loops, you know? And we got to start getting rid of these people, have them get rid of us so I can be free, lying there in my grave. Uh, the end of the Revolutionary War found farmers in rural areas of Massachusetts living a sparse subsistence lifestyle with few assets aside from their land. Forced to barter with each other for goods or services, farmers found it difficult and prohibitively expensive to obtain credit. When they did manage to find credit, repayment was required to be in the form of hard currency, which remained in short supply after repeal of the despised British Currency Acts. Okay? Now, of course, I guarantee you there was interest on top of that uh, credit. Yeah. Okay. Well, you owe us this much plus this much, because we're in business. Okay. Right. Along with insurmountable commercial debt, unusually high tax rates in Massachusetts added to the financial woes of the farmer. Taxed at a rate some 4 times higher than in neighboring New Hampshire, a typical Massachusetts farmer was required to pay about 1/3 of their annual income to the state. I mean, holy shit. Okay, you say you make $100,000, you got to pay $33,000 to the fucking state. Okay, you see why these guys were so pissed, and even if it would have been less than that, because if they were having a hard time just living off of the land. But that's the government, people. The government's violence, it's theft, it's murder. They don't care about you. It's about power. We're in power and you're going to pay us. Yeah. Okay, unable to pay their private debts or their taxes, many farmers face devastation. Okay, that's sad. Okay, I believe that if you're a raging piece of shit who's causing problems in an area, I think you should lose everything, including your ability to think straight, because you got a baseball bat upside your head. But most people are not. They're just trying to live their life. They want to have a better life. Um, they want to drink their moose head and just be left the fuck alone. Uh, The state courts foreclosed on their land and other assets, ordering them sold at public auction for a fraction of their real value. Worse yet, farmers who had already lost their land and other assets were often sentenced to spend years in dungeon-like and now illegal debtors' prisons. All right? Then Captain Daniel Shay finally got really tired of it and decided to uh, do something about it. Let's see. Now, Shays fought in the Revolution, okay, uh, and he resigned, and he was unpaid. The army couldn't pay him, okay, and then he was taken to court for non-payment of his pre-war debts. Oh, he fucked people. The government didn't pay him, so he didn't have any money. Or he had very little and he couldn't pay his war debt. So what did they do? They took him to court. I'm going to vote harder this time. Okay, retard. One day it's coming around to you. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to whine and you're going to bitch and you're going to complain. It's shut the fuck up. You wanted it for him. You wanted it for her. Fuck you. Deal with it now. Tell you what, I don't know if I'm going to do the whiskey rebellion today because this here is starting to take longer. It's really pissing me the fuck off. Okay, and he realized that he was far from alone in his plight, so he began to organize his fellow protesters. Uh, the spirit of the revolution was still fresh. The hardships led to protest, and and the citizens would hold these semi-legal conventions on demand. Uh, and they wanted the reforms, lower tax, and issuance of paper money. Now, I don't agree with paper money. I'd rather have either a hard currency. Now, if paper money's backed by a hard currency, fine. Okay? Or even barter system. And then people, when I say that, people are like, well, what do you think this is, ancient times? That was more progressive than what we got. Okay, the state legislature already It suspended tax collections for a year, refused to listen, and ordered the immediate and full payment of taxes. So when these guys got together and started saying we need reform and we need something better to help the people, the government's like, well, fuck you. We're just going to make you pay the tax now. Man, I tell you what, God, that fucking irritates me. Now, on August 29th, 1786, a group of protesters succeeded in preventing the county tax court in Northampton from convening. Oh, man. I'd love to be part of that. That'd be great. Just walk in and go, you're not doing shit today. You're not doing shit tomorrow. And if we finally get run out, then you'll do shit, but not right now, pal. Daniel Shay's quickly gained followers. They called themselves Shayites or regulators, in reference to earlier tax reform movements in North Carolina. Shay's group organized protests at more courthouses and effectively prevented taxes from being collected. Okay, so they're doing great. Now, George Washington was disturbed by the tax protests, okay? And in a letter to his close friend David Humphreys, expressed his fear that commotions of this sort, like snowballs, gather strength as they roll if there's no opposition in the way to divide and crumble them. What a dick, okay? If you think George Washington was a good guy, know this, he was a fucking Freemason. If you know anything about Freemasons and secret societies, none of these people are worth shit. They want power, they want wealth, and you and me are the ones they're going to try to get it from and over. Okay? Yeah, George Washington was a dick. Okay? Now, in December 1786, there was an attack on the Springfield Armory. And Shays and about 1,500 of his regulators attacked the Federal Armory at Springfield, Massachusetts. Although outnumbered, General Lincoln's well-trained and battle-tested army had anticipated the attack and held a strategic advantage over Shay's angry mob. After a few volleys of musket fire, Lincoln's army leveled artillery fire on the still advancing mob, killing 4 of the regulators and wounding 20 more. Then the surviving rebels scattered and fled into the nearby countryside. Many were later captured, and that ended the rebellion. Uh, and, then they got amnesty because some 4,000 individuals that were part of Shay's rebellion signed confessions acknowledging their participation in the rebellion. Several hundred were later indicted on a range of charges relating to the rebellion, while most were pardoned. 18 men were sentenced to death. 2 of them, John Bly and Charles Rose of Berkshire, were hanged for thievery. Okay, let's stop right here. The government, under color of law and order, steals from you, but then they will put you in jail, or like back then, they will hang you for doing the same fucking thing to them. I see do unto others as they would do unto you. How about that? Natural law. You fuck with me, I fuck with you. The government don't want natural law, man. If we wouldn't have their bullshit crap policies and it'd be natural law, we wouldn't have government because it'd already be put down. It'd be like, okay, I quit, bang, yeah, that's it. Now you really quit. So, you know, let's see. Some of the some of them were either pardoned or had their sentence commuted. Shays, who had been hiding in the Vermont forest since fleeing from his failed attack on the Springfield Armory, returned to Massachusetts after being pardoned in 1788. He later settled near Conesus, New York, where he lived below the poverty threshold until his death in 1825. Um, Shay's rebellion focused attention on serious weaknesses in the Article of Confederation that prevented the national government from effectively managing the country's finances. And the government can't manage finances worth shit. They don't want to. They don't need to. They'll just tax the shit out of us and keep raising the tax because it isn't about anything. They don't care if you lose. Okay? We had maybe I said this before. I live back here in rural central Pennsylvania, and they created a wildlife management area back here in 1970, and they took homes from people in that area. Okay? Gave them pennies on the dollar. The one guy did a lot of great stonework back there, like little canals and stuff like that for the water. And he went like half fucking nuts after that because there was no way he could do anything about it because the government came in and just took it. Here you go. This is what we're going to do this, and you're just going to give your fucking home up. Why the hell you'd even want a government? Why you want to vote for that kind of shit? And like I said, you're voting for that. You're voting for people to lose their homes. You're voting for people to lose their livelihoods, to be shot, to be stolen from by a bunch of fucking criminals. The good thing is, Governor Bowdoin's actions, though successful, were widely unpopular and proved to be his political downfall in the gubernatorial election of 1787. He received few votes from the rural parts of the state and was easily defeated by founding father and first signer of the Constitution, John Hancock. Okay? And that's the thing, Washington came back because Washington wanted to have a strong federal government that we can quash shit like this and we can control these people and all that. Right, right. And that's, I'm going to have another video on the Whiskey Rebellion sometime because that was under his presidential leadership. But yeah, that's Shay's Rebellion. And, it's too bad that more people didn't join him, and that's the problem. We need that nowadays, but it'd be the same thing. A lot of these guys are just going, well, I'll just go along with what the government wants. Yeah, you don't get freedom unless you water that tree of liberty with blood. That's it. That's the only way. You can't. I'm going to press this voting button a little harder. There we go. That'll solve all the problems. Yeah, you might as well take that finger and shove it up your ass, because that's about what that's worth. But anyway, there you go. It's a rant and an educational thing. I'm going to talk about Whiskey Rebellion. I'm going to talk about the Constitution and what that really is. It's good stuff to learn. And like I said, if you're a man, you're going to look around and you're going to try to find the truth. We got the logic and the critical thinking skills. We shouldn't be controlled by our emotions. We have emotions and stuff like that. And, one of my main emotions that kind of can almost overwhelm me is I get really, really fucking angry. And I got nowhere to go. I can hit the bag and all that, but I really don't want to hit the bag. Okay, I got other people that I'd like to hit, but I'll go to jail. I mean, and I don't believe I need to be incarcerated for doing the right thing. All right, so that's it for that, and I'm gonna I think I'm just going to upload it like this. I don't need to put that Dave's Home Gym there. I mean, this is more of a it's in a sense, it's education, so it is mental fitness and maybe, I don't know really what to call it. I'm not intellectual. I'm not. There are people out there that they love debating, and that's all they want to do. They want to debate. It's mental and verbal masturbation. They get up in front of people and they're going, "What do you think, everybody?" It's like you're a pervert. That's what you are. You need to get the fuck out of here right now. Okay, but I'm a debater, masturbator. No, but debate. I'm masturbator. Yeah, fuck off. Okay, so that's it for today. Well, yeah, that's it for this one. And like I said, I'll get to the Whiskey Rebellion next. So I'll see you then.